Today I want to talk about one such life where the person inadvertently, maybe not consciously, went along with what her Bhrigu Bindu is, what her connection is, which is strongly seen both in the Lagna chart, also in her Navmansh, and also through her Bhrigu Bindu, and through that she has made a name for herself, a very strong name for herself, and somebody who among the black women, if I can use the term, she has been a superstar. She has been an inspiration to billions of people. I'm not talking about millions here with an M. I'm talking about billions with a B. She has been an inspiration to billions. She has been a role model. She has also been given multiple awards. If I just talk about her awards, maybe I can go for hours on together. Why she won what awards? She's seen as the biggest black woman who's philanthropist in the world, yet given away millions of dollars away, and she has also been super successful in the area which connects her to a Bhrigu Bindu, and which she also says is her life calling, which she stepped into inadvertently, unconsciously, but she has been a superstar and she's been called the queen of the media. So by now you must have guessed I'm talking about the one and only Oprah Winfrey of the Oprah Winfrey Show, who also has a channel. She also has a studio around her name. She also has a magazine around her name. So let's jump into the horoscope of Oprah Winfrey and see through a horoscope how from a rags to riches, rising from poverty, she ends up becoming a billionaire because of being able to choose a calling in her life, maybe unconsciously, but around Bhrigu Bindu and service which she needs to do. And if she goes even tomorrow, God forbid that happens, she would still be seen as a superstar who has achieved much more than millions of people around the world may be able to achieve, especially coming from the background that she is. So, Oprah Winfrey's horoscope for you. Now friends, this is the horoscope of Oprah Winfrey. She was born on 29th of January in 1954 in Kosciuszko, Mississippi in the United States, at 430 hours or 4 a.m. 30 minutes, morning hours. Her ascendant is that of Sagittarius and her Lagna Lord is Jupiter, which lies retrograde in the 6th house in Taurus sign, which also shows her earlier setbacks in the life because Jupiter is retrograde. But because of being born in the ascendant of Sagittarius, a tough ascendant, an adventurous ascendant, a no-nonsense ascendant which knows to achieve things in life through sheer energy, through sheer enthusiasm and the ability to take risks and to connect with people around the world across cultures. So that's a strong ascendant she has, though in a trouble spot in the 6th house in the sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, its arch nemesis of Jupiter. Her 8th lord Moon is in a debilitation sign in the 12th house, but in a strong Nichbhang with Mars. In a lot of people who have achieved great things in life, we see that Moon goes into the debilitation sign in Scorpio, and many times in a Nichbhang also. This is seen in the horoscope of a number of achievers, industrialists, political leaders, and also media stars. And now, if you see, her 2nd and 3rd lord, Saturn, is placed exalted in the 11th house. And I've said this again in many of my videos. 11th house should be strong. Aquarius sign should be very strong for super success. Here, her Aquarius sign lord Saturn goes into the 11th house in a exaltation sign. What more do you want? Secondly, Mars is a 5th lord of doing what you love to do, and also Mars rules her 12th house of foreign lands, foreign audiences, and Mars is placed there in a Nichbhang placement. And both Mars and Moon aspect Jupiter in the 6th house. This is also very strong Gajkesari Yoga because of Jupiter and Moon aspecting each other, Jupiter and Mars also aspecting each other. Jupiter and Mars, when they aspect each other, when they come together, this is a strong sign of an advisor, of a consultant, somebody who is a motivational speaker as well. And with the moon placed there, it also shows that her mind is always towards helping people, advising people, counseling people, guiding people. Especially those people who are in distress, because moon rules the 8th house. And because Ketu is placed in moon sign, it means that when she started off her show, it was not for her own success. She wanted to do something to help others, because she herself came from abject poverty. She was molested and she gave birth to a child at the age of 14, which was a stillborn child. She lost the baby during childbirth, and then she was sent to a uncle's house to stay, who later on she regarded as her father. She joined a talk show, and from the talk show went up to starting her own show in 1986 called the Oprah Winfrey Show, which ran continuously for 25 years, got her into the Hall of Fame, got her the highest civilian award in the US as well. And it is said that her support for Barack Obama helped him to win millions of votes and helped him to become the president as well. The other thing to see, which is the most interesting thing, is her second house, which is also her house of income, but the house of family also. And it is also ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is an exalted state in the 11th house, which means that while trying to serve people, serve society, through being an advisor, through being a consultant, through being a motivational speaker, she achieves not millions but billions of rupees, especially because Rahu, Sun, Venus, Mercury all are placed here. And Saturn is also her nakshatra lord, because moon is placed in the nakshatra of Anuradha, ruled by Saturn. So her nakshatra lord itself going in an exaltation sign in the 11th house while ruling the sign of Aquarius means that through her own effort, because Aquarius is placed in the 3rd house of own efforts, own self-enterprise, she launches her talk show and she makes it big. Why a TV show? Because the 5th house here is Aries sign ruled by Mars and goes into the 12th house under mutual aspect of Jupiter in a Gajkesari position, and Saturn aspects the Mol Trikona sign of Jupiter, that is the Lagna. And Saturn also aspects her Cancer sign and also Ketu, which shows that caring for others, supporting for others in a supporting, caring TV show gives her super success. And if you see, when a TV show launched, it was just at the start of a Venus Dasha in 86. Just when her Venus Dasha started, and she never looked back after that. Why Venus Dasha gave her the super success? Because Saturn is placed in the 11th house in Venus's Mol Trikona Rashi. Venus goes into the 2nd house. Venus is very strong here. In spite of being combusted by the sun, it's still very strong because it is in the 2nd house. And the nakshatra lord, which is exalted, is placed in its Mol Trikona Rashi. But because sun combusts Venus, sun becomes a major energy booster for her in her Venus Dasha, which means sun gives her the brilliance. And what is sun here? Sun rules the 9th house. The doors of fate and love open for her. And sun also goes 6 places away from its sign, which means service through sun, service through Jupiter, both 6 places away from their Mol Trikona signs, and Saturn placed 9 houses away from its own Mol Trikona sign, which means the doors of fate and luck open for her during the sun's Dasha because of strong 9th house energies. Why strong 9th house energies? Sun rules the 9th house, placed in the 2nd house in the sign ruled by Saturn. Saturn is placed 9 houses away from its Mol Trikona Rashi, and the Lagna Lord rules the 9th sign, and the Lagna Lord also aspects the Sun, which is the 9th house ruler in the 2nd house. So very very strong placements for her. Now if you look at the Navmansh, Venus and Sun both go into the Lagna itself in the sign of Taurus. What is the sign of Taurus? Sign of Taurus is where the Lagna Lord Jupiter is placed, and it is ruled by Venus. So during her Venus Dasha, her Lagna in the Navmansh signs, she defines her personality, she defines the show, and she comes across as somebody who is a powerful influencer in the world, serving others in her through her talk show. And here Saturn goes into the 12th house. Saturn goes in the 10th house in the sign of Aquarius. Again Aquarius energies, again Saturn very strongly. And which house does Venus rule here as a Multikona sign? Again the 6th house, where Moon itself is placed. And again a strong connection between Moon and Mars. Why? Because Mars now goes in the debilitation sign in Moon sign. So if you see such a powerful exchange, Mars goes debilitation in Moon sign in the Navmansh, and Moon goes debilitated in Mars sign in the Lagna chart, and Mars aspects Moon in the Navmansh chart. Secondly, again the 9th house energies, because the 9th house ruler Saturn goes into the 10th house in its own Aquarius sign, and Rahu is placed in the 9th house here. And Venus goes into the Lagna in the sign of Taurus, the money sign. So through service, which is denoted by Saturn, which is placed in Venus's Mool Trikona sign, and Venus going into the Lagna in the money sign of Taurus, she makes billions. Now her Bhrigu Bindu is in the sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules the 10th house in the Lagna chart, and Mercury is placed in the 2nd house, ruled by Saturn. And so both the 10th lord and the 7th lord going and getting placed in the 2nd house. However, because her Bhrigu Bindu is in the sign of Gemini in the 7th house, this becomes a truly inspiring story for her. Why? Gemini is the sign of communication. Gemini also rules the 3rd house as the natural ruler of the 3rd sign. And the 3rd house is not only about communication, 3rd house is also about branding, about media, about communication and self-enterprise, doing something on your own. And because it is also the 10th lord, so she establishes a talk show which is connected to media, which is a talk show which is based on communication, which is based on discussion, interaction, and through that to serve others. And a very important thing here is, where is Mercury placed? Mercury is placed in the nakshatra of Dhanishta, ruled by Mars. And Mars rules the 5th house, or doing what you love to do, what you want to do. So she made what she loves to do and what she likes to do, wants to do, into a talk show, connecting her to Mercury, which is the ruler of the Gemini sign, which is also where her Bhrigu Bindu is. What is the 7th house? 7th house is the house of everybody else who you connect on a day-to-day basis. And where did people see her talk show? On televisions, at home. And the lord of the 4th house, Jupiter, is placed in the 4th house in the Navmansh chart, and with Mercury. So the Lagna lord and the 4th house lord, which is the house of home where you watch your television, sitting again in the 4th house and with Mercury. So in the Navmansh it is very clear, the 5th house ruler, which is the house of media and public performances, goes into the 4th house with Jupiter, which is the Lagna lord of the D1 chart. And Jupiter and Mercury are in the mutual aspect of Saturn in the Navmansh. And Gemini sign here in the Navmansh is the 2nd house ruler. 2nd house is the house, also house of language and family. So her show connected with family. People watch her television show on the television. At home, Mercury is placed with the Lagna lord in the mutual aspect of Saturn. And this gave her the super success, converting her Bhrigu Bindu into her lifelong calling, into a lifelong show, and then connecting it also through magazines and through her own production house. When did he launch her magazine, the Oprah Winfrey magazine? Just at the turn of the Sun Dasha, and that's what gave her super success. Why super success? Because Sun, she publishing a magazine, and which is the 9th house? The 9th house is the house of publishing, ruled by Sun. And Sun is placed with Mercury, which is also the ruler of the sign where her Bhrigu Bindu is placed. So friends, here is a life where somebody, maybe unconsciously, inadvertently, connected her calling, connected her Bhrigu Bindu to what she wanted to do, what she loved to do, and she put all her energy into that show, put all her energy into the TV production house, in her magazine, and she became the darling of the media and the masses. And through making her life calling, the purpose of life, connected to the Bhrigu Bindu, and through that serving others, through a service which Saturn also represents, she made billions. she also made a huge respect. She is one of the most powerful people ever for the 20th century, and that's what she has been ranked into number of surveys. One of the most influential women in the world and a leader. This shows that if you make your life calling, whether you do it through a Bhrigu Bindu or do you do it through something that you love to do, and that's what I said at the start of this video. It's not only about connecting your Bhrigu Bindu to your life calling. If you feel something else inspires you, catches your interest, then doing something in that line and not thinking so much about consequences, whether I'll get material success or not, whether I'll get super big houses and supercars and all that or not. Don't think so much about it. Just have fun. Do something in life which interests you. If you love something and if you're good at it, automatically people will want to employ you. People may want to work with you because you are so good at it, because you love to do that. Automatically the money will also come in. So it's up to you, friends, either through your Bhrigu Bindu or through what interests you, through your 5th house or whatever appeals to your heart, or maybe through your moon. Find that cause which is strong in your heart, which you want to do something, serve in that line, do it with ethics. Don't try to cut corners, and you will find that star is the limit, sky is the limit for you in terms of success, in terms of legacy, and also in terms of the karma that you leave behind. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation for me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time, with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.